Our bodies are amazing, and actually going one step further, some wild things happen to us when we start training with a calisthenics focus and moving our bodies in the way that they're designed to move. Some of these changes that hit us when we start bodyweight training happen as early as day one. Okay, so we've walked in the gym or calisthenics park, we have no idea what we're doing, but we've stepped out of our comfort zone, and the first thing that we notice won't even be a physical change, it will be an emotional one in how we feel, because we'll get a massive hit of dopamine, or because we've tried something new. We've had a go at this crazy way of training, and we didn't unalive ourselves. It was humbling, harder than it looked, and we may have needed assistance with some of the exercises, but we pulled through. We've come out the other side of the workout, and our body is starting to take stock of what the hell is going on. I mean, we had an exercise that primarily worked our chest, but we had to give a significant amount of focus to creating tension in other parts of our body too. What's that about? Okay, so along comes day 2, the day after we used our body as our resistance for training, and the DOMS hit. Delayed onset muscle soreness. But this is DOMS that we've never felt before. We may have exercised in the past and got aches afterwards, but calisthenics day 2 and we're feeling the DOMS in muscles we never even knew we had. We didn't directly train our core, and yet we've got stiffness in our midsection. We didn't do anything to specifically target our forearms, and yet today we're struggling to open the lid on our shaker. And what's worse is we're not only feeling the aches in our muscles, we're feeling the aches in our joints as well. The ligaments in our elbows, shoulders, or wrists are screaming out in protest, and we're wondering why on earth we ever did this calisthenics nonsense in the first place. Yeah, this is normal. While we shouldn't go chasing for these aches, it's a decent sign that as a beginner, we've stepped into a world where we have plenty of growth opportunities. All these aches is just our body responding to a new stimulus, so keep warm, eat well, and just trust that we're going to recover back stronger. By the end of week 1 though, we've had a few good bodyweight sessions behind us, and we're beginning to find our flow with beginner calisthenics movements. We can walk into a workout and know what we want to do. We're in this honeymoon stage of trying out something new now, and it feels like we want to try everything. Really dabble and lean into this. Try out whatever you want to try out, but now would also be a really great time to set some goals. We're starting to know which exercises are our favorite and which exercises we loathe. We know which exercises come easy, and we know which exercises need a little bit of extra oomph to get through the set. The goals we give ourselves should allow us to do what we enjoy, while also giving significant time to focus on our weak areas. By week 2, and we may be shocked at the progress that we've made in such a short space of time. A fortnight ago, we may have never trained in this way before, and yet now we're doing harder versions of bodyweight exercises with more confidence. These newbie gains are exciting and can lead to real significant progress. The key thing here is to not overstep and get ourselves injured by doing something silly that we may not be ready for. After month 1 of training in this way, and we may already start to notice the physical changes happening to our body. Our muscles look fuller, giving us that leaner look. Our joints may still feel tender after a workout, but our muscles don't ache nearly as much as they did after day 1. We're also likely starting to develop calluses on our hands, a product of grabbing and gripping bars. I'll link a video down below just to help you make sure these calluses don't rip, but these are us earning our first stripes as calisthenics athletes. Once we get to month 3, even the joint DOMs have gone away. We've repeated the process of training, then recovering, then training again for 3 months now, and where our joints may have hurt or limited our progress in the past, they finally caught up with the rate of growth that our muscles just speed through. But our body's also adapting on a cellular level. Our bones are becoming more dense along the lines of resistance. We're creating more blood and getting better at pumping it to the areas that need it, meaning we're not getting as tired as we used to in our workouts. And by now, training is also starting to develop as a habit, and we even start to look forward to the time of day where we get to jump onto the dick bars. If you haven't already, now would also be a really good time to take a deload. 5 days to a week where we just lower down on the intensity to just give our body time to recover. Half a year into training this way, and we're starting to see how our time outside of the gym affects our time inside the gym. With our body as both the movement driver and the resistance to our training, wild swings in food, sleep, and base stress levels will have an outside impact on us as calisthenics athletes. 6 months of bodyweight training will also have brilliant things happening in our central nervous system as well. For our muscles to contract, a signal needs to be sent from our brain to the contractile units in our muscles. Building these motor pathways take time, but 6 months of drilling into a calisthenics methodology will turn these pathways from new and shaky links to well-trodden roads, which means that we just get more efficient in how we perform the movements. The cramps we may have gotten before when our muscles literally couldn't figure out what we wanted them to do, yeah, those will start to disappear. With this newfound efficacy of movement, it may also be a really great time to entertain beginner calisthenics skills or harder variations of our typical bodyweight exercises. A year of bodyweight training and we probably don't look or feel the same. If we're still here after this long, the physical transformation of a year of training is easy to underestimate. Our bodies by now will have adapted to this style of training, and as our muscles grow, all else kept equal, it will literally give us that superhero physique, where the movements that calisthenics are famous for, pull-ups, rows, push-ups, start to take shape on our body. By now we also have a few bodyweight skills or exercises firmly under our belt, and while hitting a bench press PR is great and everything, the dopamine hit of getting your first unassisted pull-up or balancing a handstand for the first time is very hard to compare. More to the point is that if we tested our weighted exercise PRs, we'd likely find that we've developed in that area as well, as the transferability of bodyweight training to our weighted lifts is significant. 18 months now and our connective tissue is starting to feel like steel fiber. The caveat to this is that we're conditioning our joints well. At the 18-month mark, many calisthenics athletes actually go the opposite way, and by now they've probably overtrained their joints to the point where they're starting to see overuse issues. Tendinitis is a real problem for calisthenics athletes, but I have a whole string of videos on joint conditioning, so take a look at those to prevent that being you. If you manage to avoid this though, you'll probably be shocked at the sort of positions we can start to be putting our body in. By now, our sensitivity to recovery in our body is heightened as well. This is most likely the reason why calisthenics athletes look so lean. And it's because after a while, we start to realize that the third greasy burger that week, or the late night doom scrolling may just not be worth the horrible gym session the next day. We've also got a marked improvement on our body balance. The compound nature of bodyweight training, using loads of different muscles in a singular movement, makes building a balanced physique super easy, and there's really no way to describe it. You'll literally look more athletic than you used to. Improved posture from typical bodyweight exercises will just help us look effortlessly more muscular. Calisthenics training for 2 years though, and now we're starting to get increased levels of our confidence. Yes, confidence in our body, and let's not beat around the bush here, having a body that we can take pride in will literally make us look and feel better. And 2 years of training in this way, and we can literally say that we're doing something that the majority of the population does not do. We are individually becoming healthier as the world's population statistically becomes less healthy. We're also starting to become a little bit more confident in our training philosophy, allowing us to take calisthenics and train wherever we want. This is allowing us to integrate bodyweight training with other types of fitness, but also other aspects of health, such as nutrition and mental wellness. Crowd, so much of our world is centered around moving as little as possible that we often forget that we've paid a high evolutionary price to move our body. And when it comes to calisthenics, there are some phenomenal changes that we'll start to notice as long as we take training day by day. And crowd, if you want to know how to get started in this way of training, then check this video out right here.